So I'd first like to begin by addressing how much at this second we've spent. So costofwar.com tracks how much you're spending in Iraq and Afghanistan by the second. So at this point we have spent 619,933,470,000 dollars. So this number is absurdly ridiculous. It keeps going up by the thousands every minute. So this is how much you're spending right now fighting a war. My opponent says the cost would remain. I beg to differ. Funding a war is vastly different than providing aid for a country. Funding a war costs anywhere from here we go. Oh, right. So according to analysis by CSVA, that's Center for Strategic and Budgetary Assessments, they look over the federal budget for the for the defense budget, and they broke it down. So they found that for the Iraq war, even though I'm just going to give you a comparison, I know we're not talking about the Iraq war, but for the Iraq war, one soldier costs about $685,000 a year to fund. We the soldiers in Afghanistan cost nearly $1.2 million a year to fund. So if we look at these numbers versus the numbers if we had to give a country aid, it would be much less. For aid, we would not need fighter jets like the F-35, which costs $130 million, and this I pulled it off of the same research study. So we wouldn't be paying for these type of things. We would only be paying for anywhere from 3,000 to 9,000 troops who will be training soldiers in Afghanistan. And right now, this number has not been decided. It will be decided within the coming months. So, we can still choose how many soldiers to leave in Afghanistan. We're not doing a complete zero withdrawal, which is another option, but it's not the popular option because people do recognize that we do need a presence in Afghanistan, but we just need a very minimal, supportive presence. But the impracticability. Excuse me. Safety. So I'll talk about safety. The U.S. presence, even though U.S. deaths have been decreased and civilian casualties are increasing, it is a concern for the United States because, after all, we have the best of interest for the people in Afghanistan. Our presence, imagine it this way. Say China invaded the United States, and they set up checkpoints, and they told us how to live our lives, and they ran our government. How would you feel? You wouldn't be too happy with China, So it gives people a reason to it gives them a motive to attack. And even though our soldiers are trained to avoid these attacks, civilians are not trained in these things. So Our continued presence of American troops into ethnic Pashtun areas in the Afghan South will galvanize local people to back the Taliban to repel the infidels. So they look at us as infidels. We're invading their land. So they only it only angers them that we're there. So if we pulled out on our scheduled time, we would be able to reduce our presence and hand over the majority of the responsibilities, which we are already in the process of doing, to the Afghan troops, which they will trust more than a U.S. soldier. Thank you.